Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Toon Review. And this morning, of course, is press conference reaction. Eddie Howe has spoken to the media ahead of the Premier League opening fixture against Nottingham Forest at St James's Park tomorrow. Now, before we go into it, if you do enjoy the video, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. It does help us move up the search results on YouTube. And, of course, if you're new and you like what you see, plenty of content on this channel regarding Newcastle United. Do hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. And also the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload or we go live, which we pretty much do every day of the week. Now into the video. And Eddie Howe began his press conference in buoyant fashion, as usual. He said the excitement is there, but it's important for the players to be cool, calm and collected and thinking about the things we need to do to perform. I think if you get overhyped, that's a negative. So what he's basically saying there is he's going to send his players out to be very calm, not get carried away with the atmosphere. Use it as a positive, obviously, but not get too carried away with it. Now, it's a big game. Nottingham Forest new, of course, in the Premier League after many, many years of being out of it. So they'll definitely be up for it. They'll bring a good away support with them. So the players have to be ready. And I think that's what Eddie Howe is getting at, just to stay calm and play the normal game without getting too carried away. Now, on injuries, John Joe Shelvey is back in London tonight, apparently, for another assessment, he said. So we don't have a clear, defined time frame on his injury. So obviously, John Joe's going to be missing for a little while longer. We did initially hear that the estimation for John Joe Shelvey was around 2 to 4 weeks. It's looking like it may be a bit longer than that. Now, on Jamal Lewis and Federico Fernandez, he says they're working their way and shouldn't be too long. Javi Manquillo is back in training, so we're not too bad. So on the injury front, just the ones that we really knew about. Nothing new and nothing else to particularly worry about on that side of things. Now, on Sven Botman, this is very interesting because obviously a lot of people are just trying to work out who Eddie Howe is going to play in centre defence tomorrow, whether it be Cher, Byrne, Botman or Lascelles. Who will it be? Well, on Sven Botman, he said, I think he's ready to play. I've seen him during pre-season, and what a talent he is. I think he's going to be everything we hoped he would be. He's technically very good, very strong, and very good defensively. We look at every player individually and try to make the right call for them and the team. So what I do with Sven, you'll find out. But I've been very pleased with the signing. So again, Eddie Howe not really saying that he's going to give a, start Sven Botman. We just don't know. This is what we'll have to find out come 2 p.m. tomorrow when the team is released. For me, I want to see him in the team. I'd love to see him alongside Fabian Cher. That's the two that I think will do a job for Newcastle. Dan Byrne as well. I don't have an issue with Dan Byrne. However, I want to see Sven Botman starting the game. I don't want to see Lascelles starting. I think it will be a mistake. I've already said that. I don't see the point in playing Lascelles when we've got much better talent available. And we need to get off to a good start, remember. It's pointless, really, not getting off to a good start and getting the... well, we know what Newcastle United fans are like. Sometimes, some of the fan base will overreact. And if we don't get a result tomorrow, that overreaction will come in. But I think playing the right players will definitely help with that. Now, on Sean Longstaff, he says, I've been looking for a big season from him. Since I've started working with him, I've seen someone who is committed to becoming the best player he can be. Every day in training, he gives everything. He loves the club. He's got a big part to play. That gives me an indication that he might get the nod ahead of Joe Willock tomorrow alongside Joe Linton and Bruno in the middle of the park. I've been impressed with what I've seen from Sean in pre-season. He did finish last season strongly as well, a couple of good games. So, working with Eddie Howe, can he get Sean back to the sort of form that he showed early doors with Rafa? Hopefully so. It'll be nice to see him getting back to something like his best. Now, on what would constitute a good season, Eddie says improvement in every area, whether that's the ball becoming a bit more free-flowing and dominant, being comfortable in possession, becoming better defensively and expressing our philosophy in every way, and then hopefully off the back of those things, getting the details of the team right and how we want to play, consistent results will come. I think if you don't get your style of play embedded into your team, consistent results are difficult to come by. Now, pretty much says to me that as usual, he wants to win every single game, Eddie Howe, and he wants the consistency in the side that maybe Newcastle haven't had over the last few seasons, without a shadow of a doubt. They've never been consistent, and Eddie wants to play that free-flowing football and get the team really going. So it's exciting. It's exciting from what he's saying, but again, he's not giving very much away. As to how he's going to set up and go against Forest. Now, on the England's women's Euro win, he says there'll be dramatic effect off the back of what happened. I was lucky enough to be at the game with my son. It'll have a massive knock-on effect on women's football across the country, and that's great. So again, recognising the achievement of the England women's team, which is fantastic. And of course, he attended the women's game at St James's Park, which I think, the Newcastle United ladies team will only grow from strength to strength on the back of this as well. Now, on Elliott Anderson, he said, I'm looking at daily progression. Physically and tactically, I have seen a huge progression in him. He can play a number of positions. As things stand right now, he won't be going anywhere and will play an integral part for us this season. So I think the fans have got the wish. Of course, we all said that we'd love to see Elliott Anderson be part of this squad this season and be part of the progress that Newcastle are making and be part of that ambition. And it certainly looks like that's going to be the case, which is great news. Now, he also said the end of last season is gone. We can harness the good things from it, but I can't look back on it too much. We start afresh, and we need to get the fans on side by earning their trust again with our work rate and energy. So he's not going to let the form slip, is he? He's not going to let that mentality that the players had last season slip away. I don't think it would be a great idea for that to happen, to be honest, and he won't let it happen. Eddie Howe is very, very full on, knows what he's doing, knows how to get the best out of these players, and demands 110% on the pitch. If you're not giving 110% for Eddie Howe, you won't be there. Because his work rate and energy, like he says, it has to be there. And that will obviously get the fans going. Now, he then spoke about the buzz among the fan base. He says, positivity, enthusiasm and energy from fans, we're going to need all of these things. I embrace and encourage that, but among players it can be dangerous, like we just spoke about earlier on. We have to stick to our processes and remain cool, calm and collected and play our game. So he's definitely telling the players to get the feedback from the fans. Use that energy in the ground, use the atmosphere, but don't get carried away with it. Just continue to play your normal game. Because if the fans are there, giving it their all, that will inspire the players anyway to go on to better things. Now, on Nottingham Forest, he says, we've watched a lot of them. They're dangerous opponents. Steve Cooper has done a brilliant job to pick them up after missing on automatic promotion and going up via the playoffs. They play an attractive style, and we don't underestimate them at all. So again, not too much of the bigging up, which we've heard from previous managers. He's just, acknowledging what a great job Steve Cooper has done. And I think anybody would acknowledge that anyway because, he's done a wonderful job since he replaced Chris Hughton last season. And obviously bringing them up in the playoffs, getting them back in the Premier League is incredible after the amount of time they've been away. They've had some rough times, but again, they're back and playing an attractive style of football. But hopefully, because we're not underestimating them, of course, we'll go and do a job. Now, on the cup ambitions, he says, I've made no secret of the fact I'd love to win a trophy here. Whether that's this season or next, I want to be able to deliver that. So at least in the back of our minds going forward, it looks like he's going to treat the Cups very seriously. We've never had that before. We've been under tosh in the Cups, to be fair. We had an opportunity a couple of years ago, of course, when we went to Brentford, when fans weren't allowed in the ground in the Carabao Cup, and we blew it. We shouldn't have blown it, but we did. But we had a different manager at the time, and it wasn't great football, to be fair. Now, on what would constitute a good season, is his predictable answer from me, but improvement in every area. Of course, we've gone through that before. And I think, the philosophy he wants to have on the pitch is consistency, and it just rings through. And I think it's great to hear our manager saying things like that. He's not saying, if we may have a bad game here or there, or, we've just got to go out and give our best. He wants the best, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's the kind of manager that I love for our club. Really looking forward and positive. Now, on the striker situation, this is very interesting because he says we're in a position where if any players get injured, we will be stretched. But in that area, yes, we do have players who can stand up in St Maximin and Joe Linton. Now, that's got me a little bit worried, to be honest, because Maxi can't play up front. We've seen him try and play up front before. He's not that type of player. He's not a striker, and neither is Joe Linton. You know, Joe Linton has, in his early days at Newcastle United, tried to be in that position, and it's just never worked. He has found a natural position now in midfield where he can get stuck in, win the ball, take a few players on, and build an attack, which he's really got a hold of, and he's thriving in that position. So he doesn't mention Chris Wood. You know, he doesn't mention that we've got Chris Wood to back Wilson up as well, which was interesting that he left his name out. But he obviously knows that we need somebody else to come in that position, judging by what he said there. I can't imagine why that would mean anything else. So whether that's a message to the owners to say, I need a striker, get me a striker, time will tell before the end of the transfer window. But obviously it's a worry for him because saying it, you know, if players get injured, we'll be stretched. Yes, we will. And I don't think we can rely on Maxi, Joe Linton, and Chris Wood, to be honest. If Callum Wilson gets injured, we need an out-and-out striker, which we don't have if Wilson gets injured. Wood is not good enough. We know he's not good enough. And Maxi doesn't really thrive in that position. And like I said, Joe Linton certainly doesn't. So it's that was interesting for me, what he said about the strikers, because, you know, he's obviously sending a message out, and we do need reinforcements in that position. I'm under no illusion about that. But there you go, guys. That was what Eddie Howe had to say this morning. Very exciting times as we build up to kick-off tomorrow at course 3 o'clock. Don't forget that Billy will be live at 2:30 with the build-up and the commentary on the game. It starts at 2:30, like I say, and commentary from 3 o'clock. So if you can't get to the game, give Billy your support. He's brilliant at it, and it's going to be a great game, hopefully. If you have liked the video, guys, as usual, hit that like button and let YouTube know what a great channel this is. And also, if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload or go live. And then please do feel free to comment below about what you've heard from Eddie Howe. Has anything alerted you, anything worrying you about what he's had to say, or is it a very, very positive one again from Eddie? And are you excited about the start of the season tomorrow? But don't forget, tonight, 8 o'clock, TTR Friday. Let's start the weekend with a bit of a good laugh and a bit of fun. And we'll see you then. In the meantime, guys, enjoy your Friday. Take care.